Hello and welcome to another episode. I'm Tom,
I'm Amanda.
and today we're talking about.
Undertale.
So why don't you kick it off? This is a game I knew nothing about, and
Yeah.
you recommended to me. So
This is my now all-time favorite video game.
really,
Yeah. And you can see because I got my papyrus shirt that says you're meeting all my standards, and this little pin that says the side of the button fills you with determination, which is kind of the theme of
for every
Undertale.
save, right?
Yeah. So I replayed it just to review, but what was your first impression of Undertale?
Well, it's stylistically it's cool, right? Because
Yeah.
it reminded me of games I played when I was a kid. I mean, this could easily fit on to the Nintendo Entertainment System or something like that. So
Yeah.
it's all about the gameplay. It's not about fancy graphics or anything like that.
Exactly.
And that was cool. I mean, I think a lot of games lately, we see so many big games with amazing graphics and all
Yeah.
this stuff. It's nice to kick back and play a game where it's just like two buttons,
Pixels.
mouse and exactly, mouse and keyboard, and the art stylistic instead of worrying about we got all the 3D stuff and the Vive and all that. But it's
Yeah.
nice just to sit down and play a game. Sometimes it's really simple. So
Exactly. Yeah.
and the mechanics are fun, right? I mean, the introduction is really gets you right into it, lets you know how you're gonna play, and then you just
Yeah. You
start on
meet
this adventure,
Toriel
so.
for a tutorial.
Yeah. So what's the background of it? How do you start out? What's your character doing? I guess is the first thing, right?
So we start. This isn't really spoilers yet, but
Right.
they probably will be. So you kind of start off, and it's introduced that you're in a world where humans and monsters ended up fighting each other, and humans, because they had stronger souls, ended up winning and
Right.
locking monsters underground.
That was an interesting idea too, that the humans were like more powerful. 'Cause
Yeah.
you think of the monsters being
More
hardcore
yeah.
and stronger, and it was something about the power of the soul. That was kind of neat.
Yeah, and so you play a. Well, it's not really clear. It could be a boy or a girl.
That was cool too, that they left
yeah.
that a little ambiguous. So,
So you could
Yeah.
feel like it's your own gender,
Right.
whether you're a boy or a girl.
and that reminded me of older games too, like the old Ultimate games. At first, you got to pick
Yeah.
male, female, because the graphics are so simplistic. You can name
Exactly.
it whatever. And then when games got fancier graphics and everything, it's easier to. In some games, you still get to pick Skyrim or whatever, right? But then you have
yeah.
other titles where the voice acting and all, so you're kind of stuck being one or the other. So.
Yeah. Well, you play this kid, and so at this point, the monsters are trapped underground. They can't get out because there's a barrier that humans placed, that only humans can go through. At least that's stated in the beginning.
How do you get there? It's just like you fell into this.
So
world
yeah,
that's
he
just-
explores. There's this mountain. I don't quite remember the name of it right now, but he goes up this mountain. It's said that those who go up the mountain never return.
Oh,
so because they fall down in this hole that's basically not transports, but gets them down where they're trapped.
Right.
You're in the ruins, and that's where you meet your first character.
And so basically, it's sort of not side scrolling. It's a little bit.
Yeah,
You can move up and down the screen as well.
yeah, but it's a lot of you do kind of move some to the side and
Yeah. I guess it's some sort of isometric view or
Yeah.
whatever you call it. So yeah, you can move around on each screen, and you go screen by
Yeah.
screen. There's a lot of cool little puzzles, things where
Yeah.
you fall through the floor, and you need to figure out that the pattern on the floor on one screen
Exactly.
affects the other, or which switch opens which door. And what I liked best, though, so you very quickly, as you're learning the game, discover what the combat system is. And the combat mini games, which is done in your typical old school RPG.
Yeah.
Where you don't have enemies walking around on the screen. You all of
Yeah.
a sudden stop and you have to fight somebody.
Yeah, you're this little heart, and then you have to avoid attacks in this little box, but then, you have these little buttons at the bottom that tells you whether you want to fight, act, mercy, or items.
But it was cool that each one was different, right? So
Yeah.
you'd have the characters at the top of the screen, whoever you're fighting. And like you said, there's a little box, and it's really just dodge what's coming at you. And sometimes
Yeah.
it's like spiral effects, sometimes it's waves coming across the screen.
Yeah.
Sometimes the character at the top, it sort of almost breaks the fourth wall that you're in this little box. Right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the character at the top will do something that comes into the box, and you're just kind of
Exactly.
moving. So it's so simplistic in the way you do it, but it remained interesting to me the entire game, because you never knew what the next thing would be. The challenge level seemed to go up. The difficulty, what do you call it? The gradient, right? of
Yeah.
difficulty was really nice, and it felt right. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
Did you die a lot playing it?
The first time around.
I'm just curious because I think I only died a few times, and then I had some trouble. There's a few characters I had issues with, but for the most part, because and you get the typical stuff, right? Health potions you can buy, like they're always
candy bars,
right? And you can use them throughout the fight.
Yeah.
You were saying you have the fight, flee, use an item, all that kind of stuff.
I mean, my problem is I'm ambitious, and I feel like I have like 2 health I can get. I'll just dodge everything. I don't want to use an item, and then I die.
And the whole thing is done in kind of a goofy tone too, right?
Yeah, it was a very funny, upbeat game for the most part.
You got like you said, it's the candy bars instead of a health potion.
Yeah.
Your weapons are like a stick and then a toy gun. It's never something like the sword of destruction or anything like that.
Yeah, you have an old dusty tutu that you wear for defense.
Yeah, there's that, or a cowboy hat.
Ballet shoes.
Yeah. So and it's not a very long game. It's like 4 hours, I think. Yeah,
it depends on how you play it. I mean, I like investigating everything, so it takes me a little bit longer. It took me about 8 hours to beat for the first time, and that was just the first run through.
So that's the big thing, right? I guess we have to get into the spoiler.
Yeah,
territory.
so really quick, if you've never played this game, as I've told Tom, it's best to play this game knowing as little as possible.
I would agree.
Because
it's easy to learn.
Yeah.
You're not going to have any trouble. You don't need to know anything about it. How much did it cost?
$12, I think.
Something like that?
Yeah, $12. It's not expensive,
It's not expensive
people.
at all. So it's worth getting. It's worth playing.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I got to a point where I was like, I'm going to play an hour tonight, and end up like playing 3 hours or something.
Yeah.
So you definitely get into it. You want to see what's going to happen next.
Yeah. And I mean, if you know a lot about it going into it, when you start playing it, you're going to say, I wish I didn't already know this.
Exactly.
What's going to happen here.
We have to get into the spoiler stuff.
Yeah,
though,
so now that we get into the spoilers, if you haven't played it yet, just go play it.
So,
spoilers.
The most interesting thing about the game is that it is set up as such a typical RPG. Mm-hmm. The combat system you're familiar with, again, fight, flee, use an item.
Yeah.
The way you walk across the screen and all of a sudden an enemy comes up.
Yeah, a little exclamation point.
So in a sense, it's different. It gives you some different elements you've never seen before. Like the combat system I thought was kind of unique and all.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was set up intentionally to be almost a typical RPG in some ways.
I think, yeah.
Because then it tricks you at the end and you go, oh my God, what have I done?
Yes.
So what was your first playthrough like, and what did you think when you got to the end?
So I was not so fortunate in not getting any spoilers. I knew that you could go through the entire game without killing anyone.
Right.
And so that's how I wanted to play.
Okay. I played as a typical, it's a little RPG kind of
game. You were an asshole.
I killed everything, but I think like one creature because it couldn't fight back. And I'm like, that's messed up. I attacked like the dummy in the beginning, even though I realized I think I actually had to restart because something wasn't recording right or something. Yeah. But I realized like the character, what's her name?
Toriel. She's telling you just to talk to it.
You're supposed to talk to it. Why you didn't have to attack the dummy, and the dummy talks back. So it's a little goofy in that it's like a fighting dummy, but it's a it talks back.
And you meet his cousin a little later.
Right. So I attacked everything. That includes Sans. That includes, which is the skeleton's brother. That guy in your shirt. Or Papyrus, I mean.
Yes.
I don't think you killed
Papyrus. Well, did you fight
him
Sans?
At the end. No, I didn't fight him.
Okay, so that's not...
I killed Papyrus.
Yeah. No! Why?
I killed the I even text messaged you and Nathan and put like, take that. Who's that main?
Undyne
or Undyne or whatever.
I was like, oh my God, is he actually... No, this is just a trick. He's not killing these characters.
Killed Undyne, even though you have multiple options to not. And even then I was thinking like, this is a little, should I be? But that's the beauty of the game. If you've been playing games for, games like that, again, you could go back 25 years. That's what I played on the NES or whatever. It would have been a fun game for it. You're playing in the typical expected way if you know nothing about this game. I think most people probably would.
Just kill, because that's what we're used to. We're used to fighting monsters and killing them.
Right. So before we get to like the very end, do you remember the story behind... There's a story of the king's son and everything that happens with that. Why don't you explain that? Because that becomes a big part of the story that makes you start to rethink the way you're playing.
It makes me cry. Okay. So the story is You enter your name. This is again a very big spoiler, but you enter your name at the beginning. You learn later that name isn't actually the name of your character. You play as a character named Frisk, and the person that you named in the very beginning was actually the first human that ever fell down here, and that human was also a kid. And sorry. And so he becomes like best friends
with the monster prince,
with,
right?
Yeah, Azrael, who's Toriel's and King Asgore's son. And they kind of, because, what you learn is that your human soul is actually not enough to just get through the barrier. You have to have a human soul and a monster soul, which means you have to kill someone. And so they ended up raising this human as their other child.
And that's why Toriel in the beginning doesn't want you to leave. She just wants you to stay in the house and be happy. And you're like, I need to go venture out.
Because what ends up, well, I'll explain that really quickly a little later. But so they become best friends, but then the human gets really sick and, dies. So then before he dies, the last wish this human kid wanted was to see the yellow flowers back at his old village. And so in his grief, Azrael absorbs the human soul, and he becomes thus a lot more powerful enough to walk through the barrier. And so he carries the corpse back to the village and lays him on the bed of flowers. But the humans in that village thought Azrael killed... monster. With a body, he killed the child. And so all the humans started attacking him, but he doesn't fight back. He gets back home and just dies because of all the beatings he took from the humans. And so then you're left with the king and the queen grieving because they basically just lost 2 of their children in one night.
Right, because they basically adopted the human child.
Yeah. And so the king and this was really true when it comes to parents. When you lose your children, you grieve and you get angry.
Yep.
And so the king gets...
You got right into the emotion of it again. We actually stopped and ate pizza because the pizza came in. You went right back like...
I'm a girl! I get into the emotions easily. Shut up!
I'll admit, I got sad then too. And this isn't revealed till the end of the game, we should say, right?
Yeah.
So you're getting to the end and you're like, oh, there's a lot more heart to this story than I realized.
You read through, the monsters are telling you the story as you're walking, you don't fight these. You didn't get the chance to kill these monsters that were telling this story. But then the king in this fit of rage declares that any human that goes down into the underground must be killed so he can collect... He needs 7
of them,
He needs 7 human souls to break the barrier.
To break the barrier.
So all the monsters can go free and he can kill all of humanity.
Right. Yeah, you needed a human soul and a monster soul to pass through the barrier. He wants to destroy it with 7 human souls.
Yeah, and then destroy all of humanity.
In
his anger and revenge. And you are the 7th child.
Yes. So... I did not know that. As I said, I was playing it as a regular...
At the end, you learn this.
I was playing this as a regular, hey, it's a dungeon crawl kind of game. You're underneath in a dark dungeon under the mountain trying to escape monsters in my way.
Yeah.
Hack them and slash them.
Great.
Get to the end, and Sans, so the character on your shirt is Papyrus, right?
Mine's Papyrus, that's his Sans brother.
Sans is the Sans?
brother.
Sans? I don't know.
It's Comic Sans, I think, so Sans.
Sans. I don't know why I said it like French or something.
Yes. Sans.
So Sans, you meet Sans earlier on, and he's actually kind of nice to you. And he's like, my brother's going to try to stop you.
Yeah.
You eventually get to Papyrus, and he's kind of changing his mind about you as you go.
Yeah.
And in the end, you have to fight him, and you actually have a chance to spare him. And I killed him. So you get to the end, and in basically the throne room, Sans comes out, and he's talking to you and all, and he's starting to judge your decisions.
really deep.
And he
yeah.
says to me, are you a good person? Something, I forget the exact wording, but he's basically challenging your conscience or whatever. And finally goes, then why did you kill my brother? And you go, oh shit. What did I do?
You killed his brother. That's what you did. He talks about how level, which, in most video games, it's LVL,
Yes.
short, and it stands for level of violence.
Right.
And your experience points, EXP.
No, it was love, right? It was LOV. That was your life, right?
That was level of violence.
Yeah.
And then experience points, or EXP, stood for EX stood for execution points.
So you think when you kill a bad guy, quote unquote, and kill a monster, it says your love is increased, and you think, oh, I'm getting more health points.
Yeah, your level's increasing, which is usually a good thing.
Usually it's a good thing. I have more HP. I have more attack power, or whatever.
Exactly. And he also brings up this excellent point that the more your level increases, your love increases, the more you distance yourself away from the monsters and feel more comfortable just killing them.
Which was true.
Yeah, which isn't totally true.
Yeah, there's a couple other parts. There was like a ghost on the ground, and it was just lying there. And you can choose to attack it. And I attacked him. Like, get out of my way. Wake up. Right? Now, again, I didn't know.
I did, so.
So that gets you to the end of the game, and now there's multiple different endings. You said, did I get the neutral ending, right? I think it did.
So in order to get the genocide ending, that's all-time evil 1, you have to not only kill everything, including, everything.
Undying and every little thing you cross.
Everything, as well as you have to walk around like the ruins. You have to walk around the waterfall area a bunch of times and kill all the monsters that come up until eventually the music changes. And, you walk around and you'll still get that exclamation point, but instead of a monster coming out, it says, but nobody came. Because you killed them all.
Okay, so I didn't do that, and I didn't, and he did say at the end that I didn't kill everything. There were some that I spared.
Yes, so
very
that's
few.
That way to get the genocide ending.
So I guess I got
which is very creepy.
The neutral ending.
Yeah, which is no matter what you're going to get because the pacifist ending, you still have to get the neutral ending at first. Okay. You unlock the rest of the pacifist ending.
Yeah, so at the end of mine, I had to fight the king.
Yeah, Asgore.
And I did a nice job against him. I'm like, okay, that's not so bad. And he has the other 6 souls, human souls.
Yeah.
Then the game ends, right? It actually shuts down, I think. But this is the weird part, and this is where the game gets genius.
Yeah.
You reopen it, and the little flower at the beginning.
Flowey.
So
Flowey the flower.
In the beginning, he pretends to be nice to you until he attacks you.
Gives you friendship pellets.
Yeah, which
Run into the friendship pellets.
And it's how you learn how the game mechanics of combat's going to work. And he comes back at the end all badass and hardcore.
Yeah.
And the other 6 souls are helping you. I couldn't beat him.
You couldn't?
I stopped playing at one point. I didn't put a whole lot of time into it, so I guess I didn't technically pass the game because I couldn't beat Flowey.
You couldn't beat Flowey?
He was super hardcore, dude. Ridiculous.
Are we talking about when he's in the television screen and that weird monster looking like thing? You never beat it?
No, I'm ashamed, not because I killed everything, but because I couldn't kill Flowey.
Wow, I gotta go back.
I gotta go back and try it again. No, I'll
because I can beat that in one go.
It was weird, and then it kept going to other screens where there was the other souls help you.
Yeah, the other souls kind of fight, but then help you when you ask for help, and the other souls give you help, and they heal you.
No, again, I didn't try it that much. I actually, like I said, died very few times playing the game, only a couple. I think only twice, maybe. But when I got...
Well, that's why, because you were killing everything.
Maybe only once. Yeah, so I was getting more and more powerful.
Yeah, it's actually a lot harder if you don't kill everything.
No doubt. Yeah, that explains it, right?
That's why I've died a lot more.
I was getting more love, or in other words, level of violence. But yeah, so I realized that if I passed that, then you can restart the game, right, and play it in a different way.
So once you beat Flowey, so you cannot go back and play the passive ending because you killed too many.
Oh.
You're supposed to get the true passive ending. You have to not kill pretty much everything. Anything. And then, you get to the end and you get that neutral ending, but Flowey comes out and says, hey, you can actually get a better ending than this. If you just reload your save file and, hey, this character, you could have been better friends with them. And then you go back to that character and, so there's a few scenes that you actually get for the passive. This was one of them, which is why you don't get my shirt, is you go on a date with Papyrus.
Oh, okay.
You go on a date, yes.
No, I recognize Papyrus. I didn't recognize the quote.
Yeah, so you go out on a date. That's one of the things you have to do. You have to date Papyrus. You have to...
so it's a whole different game you've played again.
Yeah.
Very different game. Yeah, and that's what made a game really genius. So you love the game, obviously. 10 out of 10?
10 out of
4
10.
stars out of
12 out of 10.
So this is my impression, not knowing what it was all about. At first, I'm like, this is fun. Don't know if it's worth the $12. It's kind of a basic... Like, the graphics are what I know it's retro kind of graphics and all. And I was like, I don't get why you guys thought this game was so great and you got to play it and all. And then you get to the end... And you realize, like I said, I felt tricked at the end. I was actually a little bit irritated. I felt bad, and then I felt like, well, this is bullshit. This is what you're supposed to do in games. I can't be blamed. I didn't know. So you do that, and then like it breaks the fourth wall too. Like you reopen the game, and it doesn't open the game and say load game. It starts you back where you were. Like basically,
Flowey kills your save file.
He kills your save file, like corrupts it. So you're like, it gets real meta, where it's like the game is aware it's a game and says, I'm destroying your save file. You can't go back now.
In the genocide ending where you learn more about Flowey, you he actually has the same powers as you, in the sense that you can actually save and reload, and so he's actually capable of saving and reloading too,
which is a very cool concept.
Yeah.
So that's when I decided it was really genius, and in fact, just talking about it makes me appreciate it even more, knowing now there's these other different possible endings, different possible replay value, and like I said, it tells this really interesting story about basically forgiveness and almost, the group think of monsters evil, humans good. All that. Now monsters want revenge and all that stuff.
Not killing everything, and maybe there's another way to talk around your...
Exactly.
Because each monster you have to do something different in order to have, spare them, in order to get them to try to stop killing you.
I guess I'll have to... See, now I want to play it again trying to do that, right?
Yeah,
to
get the pacifist.
I can't, though. Flowey won't let me.
You have to beat Flowey, yes.
Or delete it and reinstall it.
No.
I guarantee that's a power I have.
That doesn't work.
Really?
No.
How would Steam know if I just delete it?
It does. It's on your hardware. Like
I can find the file.
There
I'll
are
find the file
people
and delete it.
online who say they can't... Deleting the game does not work.
That's interesting.
And it's also interesting in the sense that once you get the genocide ending, you will never be able to get a true pacifist ending again.
What if I get a new computer, set up a new Steam account with a new credit card?
Then you probably can get the new game. But as ending the neutral game, you will be able to play through neutrally. But once you finish the genocide, it will always be different. Yeah. No matter what you do.
But that's what was cool.
Unless you get a new computer or buy.
No, but that's what I like about it. Like I said, it's very simplistic gameplay in a lot of ways. Not just I really enjoyed the combat and all. But now saying that, I realize I should have been doing so much combat.
Yeah.
But the combat's fun and everything. Other than that, it feels very straightforward. The puzzles are kind of fun, but you kind of catch on and stuff like that.
They're pretty easy, yeah.
And then you get to the end, you realize like, oh, I have been tricked. I've been tricked into doing the standard thing, and you go, okay, there's a lot more to this game. It's it's way more philosophical and intelligent than that.
Yeah.
And it actually made you think like, oh yeah, why did I kill him even though I could have spared him? And he was telling jokes and stuff. Yeah, he was the bad guy, quote unquote. But so I appreciated it way more after that. And then once it got meta with the whole "I've destroyed your save file," you're like, "Hey, this is kind of cool." This all of a sudden, went from very standard game to yes, we made you think it was a very standard game.
But here's what
to pull to all of a sudden flip the switch on you at the end.
Yeah. So. And the characters, once you not kill them, you learn more about them and you see their dynamics a little bit better. You learn more about Papyrus's dreams. You go on the date with him. You learn more about Undine, and Alfie's and their relationship.
Well, Undine's what I felt bad about too, because that was she was doing her.
She was just doing her job. Yeah.
And then I had a chance to spare her, and it gave you like 3 or 4 chances, and I'm just like, I can go another round with you. So it's
Did you fight the Mega Undine? or Undyne EX or
I
something?
don't think so.
Okay, because that's in the genocide run. I guess, yeah, that's only in the genocide run then. She upgrades herself in the
Okay,
genocide
how
run.
does the so we're kind of done, right? We can be done with the review and then I'll just talk extra stuff. If you haven't played the game, play it. You
Yeah.
love it. I give it 9 out of 10, something like that. It's very good. Again, it's almost hard to rate as a standard game because it's more than
It's
a standard
not a standard game,
Again,
yeah.
it's playing with this concept of it's a standard game and then
Yeah.
and then flips the switch on you. And that's what's so cool about it. So it's more of an
Yeah.
interesting philosophical experience in some ways than it is
Mm-hmm.
a typical game. But some of the other things, the little robot guy that comes after you, Mettaton, yeah.
Yeah.
And he he does all like game show stuff and the
Yeah.
cooking show. There were parts of it that were definitely very unserious and very goofy.
Yeah.
He's one of them that killed me on my playthrough.
Really?
He was hard when you get to that first end battle with him.
Yeah, no, he's pretty difficult.
So how do you not kill him?
So, do you remember seeing ratings on the side as you're fighting Metaton EX?
Yeah.
You see the ratings. So you're supposed to raise the ratings. So by eating glam burgers, which is what you buy in the
Yes.
hotel, or the Metaton steak that's in the shape of Metaton's head.
Yeah.
You and for acting, you never even looked in the act box. Did you never even look in there?
No, I did. Sometimes. No, I did for some.
Okay.
Yeah, I did for some.
So in act itself tells you can pose dramatically. You can boast about how you're not going to get hit by an attack. And so by not getting, if you do that, if you not get hit by attack, you raise those ratings. And posing raises those ratings until you get to 10,000. And then he's like, wow, this is the most users I've ever had. Let's take in a call. And so, his
I get you.
what he wants is, to go to humanity so he can be a big star. And what he realizes through all these calls is the underground loves him so much. He's already a big star down here, and they need him more than humanity needs him.
Interesting. Yeah, see, I was just thinking of glam burgers and all that stuff
Yeah.
as ways to restore my health points so I can keep
it,
on battling.
well, it's a way to also raise your ratings.
Yeah, so there's a lot more nuance to the game and a little hidden
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah, so, and each monster you have to act differently in order to be able to spare. But, yeah, you go through the game, and the only the monster that you have to attack is Asgore.
When you get to the end.
Yeah, because then if you remember, as you're attacking him, you have the opportunity to either spare him or kill him. He gives you
Yeah.
that option. You then mercy him,
Yeah, because you need a soul you need a monster soul, right?
Yeah, but to get the pacifist ending, you don't kill Asgore.
Okay.
Well, and then,
I gotcha.
of course, then Folly comes and kills him anyways in the neutral ending.
I've read that, yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, so that's cool. And now that I'm looking at it, again, it's a much more complicated game because if there's
Yeah.
different ways to get around each battle, that's
yeah.
definitely the more difficult way.
And it gets
play.
deeper than what you know. In the pacifist run, you learn a lot more. You learn about Alphys and her attempts to break the barrier without the souls and how messed up it gets. Trying to...
I gotta play the whole thing again.
It's actually really creepy. I'm getting chills just thinking about that.
That's really cool. So I'm liking the
Yeah.
game even more now. That's what's so genius about it. If you just play it regular and you don't know, if you stop
Yeah.
right before the end, you go, this game was kind of lame. Like,
Yeah.
okay, some of the combat was fun. It was kind of retro, reminded me of something I would have played 20 years ago, which is
Yeah.
nostalgia. What's the big deal? It's not till that end you go, oh, there was a whole different way to play it.
There's a whole nother
And
world
that's
to
very,
it.
very clever.
A lot of lore.
What's through the big doors earlier in the game before you get like in the icy part? There's two big doors and I couldn't get through it. And,
Where?
It's earlier when you're first talking to Sans.
Sans?
I
Sans?
thought we decided
Sans?
it
No,
was
you're
Sans.
right.
Sans?
Sans.
You're talking to Sans?
Comic Sans. Okay.
You
Dang it.
go south and then around this. There's this before you can either
Oh,
cross the
and
street.
then you walk on this weird, and there's mushrooms around this door.
Yes.
So that's actually pretty hard to unlock.
There's a
As
way?
to go in the door. Yeah, there's a way. At the end, when you get to the credits, so the credits are all kind of flying at you, and when you hit it, it turns yellow, kind of. The goal is to not get hit by any of these credits. It's incredibly hard, and you have to beat the boss in order to even get to the credits.
Right.
Like you can reload the credits and try again. But you learn that door is actually where Sans talks to Toriel. Even though he doesn't know that's Toriel he's talking to, they kind of just tell bad jokes over each other. You learn that when you talk to Sans in the past before, and he tells you about this woman he tells jokes over through a door.
But you can't get in there unless you pass the credit part?
I believe so. I believe that's the only
even
way.
the credits are part of the game.
Yeah. Unless, it's either that, because I don't want to, fool our reader, or not our readers, but our viewers, if I'm wrong. It's either opens that door or opens Sans' room.
Okay.
And I don't remember which it is. Leave in the comments below.
All right.
Or look it up.
Yeah, very interesting.
I've never
game.
succeeded, so.
A very clever concept to take something.
Yeah. And it's a beautiful story, too, when it talks about determination, and the determination that a human has. And it goes really deep to find determination in the little things to keep going, like determination and finding, like, maybe that mouse will one day get that cheese. I need to keep going,
Yeah.
And that's so true to our life, too, is that we have to have the determination. And even when it's really hard, and I'm getting too deep here.
No, it's good. I'm just thinking when I texted you with, suck on that, Undyne, you must be going, what's he doing?
I was like, what?
Oh, yeah, badass beat her on the first try.
Yeah, I was like, oh, he's going to want to play this again. That's what I thought. He's going to want to.
The camera on my face must have been at the end like,
yeah.
oh.
Yeah.
Why did you kill my brother?
You killed his brother,
Sorry, Sans.
And the hardest boss in the game, harder than Flowey, if you can believe it, is actually fighting Sans in the genocide run.
Oh, you gotta kill him too?
In the genocide run.
How do you even fight him?
Well, when you go up to him, at that end, and you've killed everything, you've done everything and you're supposed to for the genocide run, killing everything, going through all the little areas and killing everyone there until the music changes. And he says, I need to stop you. And then you fight him there. And you can watch it, like, either if you want to replay the genocide, I'd play the passive training first.
Yeah.
Or if you just want to watch it on YouTube. I watched my boyfriend play it. It took him days of weeks, constantly retrying to beat Sans. And I can see why it's incredibly difficult. Beyond incredibly difficult.
Little skeleton dude.
Yeah, is the most powerful boss in the game.
Well, all right.
Yep.
So yeah, very cool game. Definitely not your typical game, and it takes all your expectations and flips them at the end, which is really neat.
Yeah,
and
beautiful, well done game.
And obviously replay value too. So it's a 4-hour game, but you can play this at least two more times.
It depends on how you play it.
You can end up getting 20 hours out of this with different replay.
Oh,
or
yeah.
If if Sans is that hard, Sans,
yeah. Again,
days.
Hours, days, weeks of retrying this boss battle.
All right. What are we gonna do next time?
What are we gonna do next time?
Maybe Nathan and I'll do Technolust.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be here.
Yeah, got some great new Vive stuff we'll look at.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Till next time.
Thanks for watching.